Hello everyone, FARMSIMGUY here, hope you're all doing well. We are just finishing off this forage contract. There's another full trailer there. Typically we've got a tiny little bit left in the field. It always happens, doesn't it? But those corners are pretty ugly as well. There's a lot of crop left in the corner, just the way that Willie set up the GPS course. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back, tidy those edges up, and then we will be done. It is quite a run across the map to get to the sell point, but that's all good with us, so we will see you when we get over there. We should actually make a little bit of profit off this job because we decided to put some silage additive in the new forage harvester there, so we're getting an extra 10% or so yield anyway, so that might just go in our favour. So we will head over to the sell point. Oof, that deer was lucky, wasn't it? We'll head over to the sales point and we'll have a chat while we're there. We'll probably see what we're making in extra cash then as well. So here we are back at Longmeadow stores for the, well, I suppose not the last time, because we're going to have a little bit left in the trailer, although we could keep that for the next contract. But let's pull up the HUD now and let's unload this, and there we go. Our money's ticking up already there, so we have already completed the contract, which is nice to see. So everything else, even a little bit after this, will be a bonus. But there we go. Like we said, the money isn't huge with these. It's not like selling a few extra silage bales. You don't get as much for the chaff, but we've got a bit of an idea for making a bit of extra cash, and we'll tell you about that in a little minute. What we'll do, we'll head back down, we'll finish the field, and while we're just finishing off those little bits and pieces, we'll tell you about our plans now that we are the owners of Home Farm. Right, so here we go. We'll get this last tiny little bit here, and then we'll just run into that corner there, tidy up the other loose ends as well, and then we are done. So, plans! Now we have Home Farm. We are going to split our machinery across two locations. The first one being obviously our contractor's yard already. What we'll do is leave the combine down there, probably the balers down there as well, anything that we need for harvest or summer activities, and then the rest of the stuff, probably the forage harvester, the trailers, a couple of the tractors, we'll move them up to Home Farm as well, and that can be our kind of silage crew, if you know what I mean. We'll do a bit with that, so probably the tedders as well and things like that. So we'll give it a go, we'll see how it goes, and we'll take things from there. But first and foremost, let's get this field finished, and then we will be back to start shuffling equipment about. We're going to sell a few bits and pieces as well, I think. Get some of those things that we don't either need or are surplus to requirements. We'll get rid of some of those as well. Right, Willie's folded up the machine there, and he's heading off. He's got somewhere else to be, so I'm going to jump into it. I'll move the trailer in the close vicinity, then hopefully we should be able to unload those little pieces in the corner into the trailer, just as a one-man band. So we'll jump in, we'll do that, and then we'll be back to have a chat again. Right, here we go, one last corner to do now. We've got 13% in the trailer, so it was worth doing. And this is probably the biggest chunk up here, so we may get up to 15%, not much more than that. I think there's a little bit still in the tank. Yep. We might have to move the trailer twice here as well, just to grab this little bit, but that's okay, it could be worth it. So lower the header down and roll forward. There's quite a long throw on this pipe, it's got quite a long pipe on it, so we'll definitely get to the end of this little bit, I think, just about. If not, we will definitely. There we go. That's good. And then we'll get the second bit here as well. So, in terms of what I'm thinking, I've already talked about some of the machinery, but then we've got things like the telehandler. Now that's sitting down at the contractor's yard at the moment. And obviously all our bales and all the feed for the cattle and that big clamp that has got quite a lot of silage in it are now up at Home Farm, and I think there's a lot of sense in us selling that entire silage clamp, getting that away. We'll check the prices, make sure we're selling it at the optimal time, but That's just sitting there, and we are covering off cattle feed with the bales without any issues. Plus, both our grass fields are ready, so we can cut any more grass that we need and turn it into bales as well. So it is really surplus to requirements, which is great. So that's a proper little money spinner there, and then we can top it back up as well if we want to. So definitely potential for quite a lot of money there. But for now, we've got whatever's in the trailer there, plus we'll run this back to home farm, and we are looking good. Right, we will see you up there. We really must move those bales out of the way of the Range Rover as well, mustn't we? Now it belongs to us, we might as well use it. Now the pressure washer's there. I'm not going to wash this just yet, because I think we might get sent straight out into another contract, a couple in the pipeline. I think that we're just getting organised, but this does look like a nice little shed for it. Just down here, if the roof is high enough, which it looks like it is. So we can pop this in here. I am super pleased with this great piece of equipment. And we've still got 3/4 of our silage additive left, so there's going to be a few contracts coming up where we make a little bit of extra money. Now, while we're here, before we go back and grab the trailer, we're definitely getting rid of this case. It's just a bit old, it's a bit rickety. Got a front bucket there, it's got the bale spike here. It just is not that great. This turning circle isn't fantastic on it, so that can go. The silage blade, we will keep that, because we may do loose silage again in future. Like I said, we're going to get rid of all of this though. I don't think we need it, and we've got a lot of straw, hay, and got a few silage bales in here as well still, so we've still got plenty of feed for the animals. The grass pickup header, now this is an interesting one. I don't think we've got much use for this going forward either. Like I said, we can pick up forage, we could do whole crop silage if we want going forward. We could do maize silage. I don't think we would do grass silage in that way. If we're going to do grass silage, we're going to wrap it using the balers rather than putting it into the loose clamp. So this is probably a maize harvest if we're going to do that. I think I might get rid of this as well. This is quite an expensive tractor, and all it does is sit on this feeder wagon here. And what I really think we could do here is utilise some of our older equipment. So maybe the TW, maybe the Renault, maybe one of them goes. I don't know. Preference would be to keep the TW from nostalgia reasons. But definitely, I think there's a lot of money locked up in this tractor, and we're not using it that much. So that is another consideration as well. So anyway, we better go back. We're going to get the trailer with the last of that forage in, sell that, collect those contracts, and then we'll start to shuffle some machinery around and get things started for the new life on home farm. Right, grab the trailer now. I predicted 15%. There's actually 17 in here, so that's not bad. So we'll go and tip this. Like I said, it's not worth that much, but every little bit helps, to be honest. We do have quite a few outstanding loans and our kind of running costs of the farm as well. So, you know, if you can cover a day's costs with a little bit of extra in the trailer, be that the full trailer we just tipped before plus this, it's all good stuff. So we'll head up, we'll sell this, and then we'll run this back to home farm as well. Right, here we are, last venture into here for a little while. Potentially, you never know where the next contractor wants us to deliver to. But let's get this tipped. The other thing I'm definitely going to buy, so some of the stuff we're going to sell, and I am definitely going to buy. There you go, £182. Was it worth it? Maybe not. One of the other things I'm going to do, purchase another trailer. Now, whether or not I get another Richard Weston, or we look at something else, the Ultima pack is quite a nice pack of trailers, so we could pick one from there instead. So we are going to reinvest some of the money. Definitely, I think our sales will be higher than any new equipment we buy, but definitely I think 2 trailers going forward if we're doing forage contracts, because there's a lot of dead time while the forage harvester sits in the field using one trailer. But at the same time, we need to hire some new help as well. So I am going to be putting an ad into the Farmers Weekly. It's already prepped and ready to go. So I am looking for people to apply. And let's see how we get on. But definitely I think there's potential for a couple of people, if they want to throw their names into the ring, to be available to help on the farm. We've even got accommodation at Home Farm now. We can offer to willing contractor helpers. So, yeah, there we go. Right, so let's dump this in the shed here out of the way. There we go, that's good. We'll unhitch it from the JCB as well. Probably just spin the JCB round as well. Right, we are going on a selling spree. We're going to take a few things down to the shop and get them sold and see what sort of money we're going to make. So there you go, in our small tractors, 74,668 tied up in that little T5. So we are 100% getting rid of that, no question at all. There we go, that is sold. Now, the TW, like I said, from purely nostalgia purposes, I'm going to keep a hold of that one. The Renault I was going to sell, but at the moment at 14,265, that can be used as a little bit of a runaround tractor. It's quite good on the tedder and the windrower and things like that. Stuff that needs low power. So I am going to keep hold of it. Not to say that we won't get rid of that in future as well, but for now, that stays. As for the case wheel loader, look at that. They have offered us a massive 51,000 for that. So no question, that's gone too. There we go. Of course, with it, the wheel loader tools, so not big numbers for these, but like you say, it adds up pretty quick, doesn't it? Now, here's some more equipment as well that needs to be reconsidered. Now we've obviously got our Class Jaguar. We don't need the Relocating or the Kemper header. In fact, the Kemper header is 4.5. The one that comes with the Class is 7.4. What a big difference. So definitely don't need those. And the pickup header, I think, needs to go too. And there's some big money in that. Look at that. Huge. So let's start selling these. Just over 16,000 for that one. 46,000 for the Kemper header. And the Relocating. This was great. You know what, it did a brilliant job for us for a little while, but it's gone now. And look at that, over 500,000 in the bank already. So that investment of $1 million, shall we say, when we inherited Home Farm, is already starting to look like it's paying off, which is great. Right then, I think that's everything done. 260,000 in sold vehicles, and we are no worse off. We have got a lot of equipment that is that hasn't been used really, that we're going to be able to start using again. So I'm going to start shipping stuff up here. There are a few things I would like to buy. There is a front bucket I think we would need for the telehandler, so we can start loading some of this silage up into trailers, and a few little bits and pieces like that. But in general, I think we're looking good now. We really are. So let's start bringing some stuff up from the other yard. Right, here we go. TW almost at its new home. I think we'll leave the Renault down at the other yard for things like I said. We're going to leave the kind of baling and hay equipment down there and the forage equipment up here. So we'll leave the Renault down there, which means we've got one of the smaller, older tractors down at the other yard. But TW gets its new home here, and this is going to be our tractor for feeding the animals. So it will get used a lot every day. Davey will be able to use this when he's feeding the animals, but great to see it getting some good use again. Doesn't need a repaint though. Maybe we'll treat it to a respray at some point. Next up, I think we'll run the Valtra up to the new farm. This is going to be our other, I think, hauling tractor. So we'll use the JCB and we'll use the Valtra for hauling our trailers up and down when we've got forage contracts, just because there's some nice grunt in this. But it does mean that we leave the slightly bigger horsepower Massey that you see we've just driven past there. And that's got a front loader on it as well, so we can start to utilise that for bale work as well if the telehandler is in the yard. So that's working well. So let's get this up to home farm as well. We need to buy that new trailer as well. Right, here we go. Let's run this into the yard. This does have a front weight on it, which I'm going to drop off just in the verge here, next to the shed. There we go. So we know where to find it next time we need it. This did a fantastic job with that forage attachment on, didn't it? But it is such a great tractor for running on the roads. It seems criminal to not use it for that. So, like I said, that's why I chose that to be our second hauling tractor. So there we go. It looks like we've only got balers and bale equipment down here now, which is great. Like I said, the Massey with the functionality of that front loader as well on it when we need it is very handy. Means we don't need the telehandler down here. So actually the last piece of equipment we need to run up to the other farm. We could take the cultivator. I'm just going to leave it here for now though, but I think we'll move that up to home farm in the future as well. But for now, we'll leave that here. So the only other thing that we need to run up to home farm now is the telehandler, and that's just reminded me. The caravan here, no longer required now. Again, doesn't cost us much, but I think we'll sell it, see what we can make for it, and who knows? There might be a certain chap called Charles looking for somewhere to live at the moment. Maybe he'll be interested. There you go. Actually, not to be sniffed at, 11,655. It's a nice little bit of extra money. Like I said before, you know, if we can sell all these little things, you know, our daily costs are up at about 3,500, 4,000 a day. So, you know what, that covers off for a couple of days there. And a little bit more. So, really, really good. So, it's gone. Okay, the yard's looking pretty sparse these days, isn't it? Which reminds me, I'm just going to check on the horses. Like I said, I've almost forgotten about them. Davey has done such a phenomenal job with the horses. Look, they're fully fed. They're 100% health. They've got water, they've got feed, they've got another bale here waiting for them when this one runs out. He has been doing an awesome job. I think animals has definitely become Davey's forte. And they're looking pretty good as well. Remember, we didn't pay much for these to start with. They're going to be quite lucrative, and it's something I may consider expanding on in the future, actually. Right, let's get the telehandler over to home farm, and the other thing we're going to do straight away, I think we'll run this straight to the shop. I have no front tools for this now, because we've transferred everything over to other things. So, I think we'll go and pick up a bucket for this, for shifting silage around. So, we'll see you at the dealership. Right, here we are. Let's go and see what's available in the store. So that is exactly what we're looking for. The Lizard silage fork, 5,000 litre capacity. So that will do us very nicely. So we're looking at this, we're in June, so we're kind of the lower end of the market. So 190 being top. I mean, the range isn't that huge either. So, you know, we could be looking at selling September, October, November time and making a decent amount of money. So worth considering that. Now, while we are here, I wouldn't mind your opinion on the following. We currently have an SF14 silage trailer, the Richard Wester one, 22,499,000, holds 26,000 litres. What do we get next? Now, obviously, I'm trying to keep it relatively small because, you know, small lanes, tight lanes, things like that. So going for something like the SF18 would be a little bit overkill, but maybe we could upgrade to a 16 here. That'll give us 34,000 litres, or we go up here, we've got the Ultima 16 here, which will take 34,000, or the Ultima 14, which will take, looks like if we add in the extensions, 31,000 litres as well. So, and price-wise, they're pretty much the same. So, I would like to hear from you. Which one should I buy? Should we go for the Ultimas? Or should we go for the Richard Weston, another one of those? We're definitely getting a second trailer. But let me know in the comments if you think we should go for the same as what we've got already, or we go for something slightly different. Actually, can we change the colour of these? We can. We've got lots of scope to change colours of these as well. So that's nice. We'll have a think about what colour we want. But if we go for that, or we go for the Richard Weston, which size? And again, lots of scope to change the colour of the Richard Westons to something else as well. So let me know. I'd like to know what you lot think. Maybe we'll even put a poll up before the next episode, and you can tell me which one to buy. Now, one thing we are going to pick up today, and you'll laugh at this because we used to own one of these and we sold it a while back, is the Gavile bale handler for the bales that are in the yard there. Because we don't have, now we've got rid of the case wheel loader, we have nothing to pick up those bales unless we get this. And this is a nice handy little tool to have to allow us to do that. So let's take the telehandler version. There we go, just 1600. We'll pick this up and that'll be us heading home. Right, let's head back to the yard and look at that. There is our new bale grab, and they took the liberty of pressure washing the JCB for us as well. Tell you what, the service here is outstanding. Right, let's head back to the yard. We'll see you there. Right, here we are, and of course I now have a bale grab that I can't use with square bales, so that was clever of me, wasn't it? I mean, to be fair, we're going to have to move these bales at some point anyway, and we do have stuff down at the other yard, but I should have thought about that, shouldn't I? Now let's just see, can we use the extending arm on this to move these forward? Let's try that, shall we? Right, here goes. It's still a lease vehicle, so ideally I don't want to be scratching it, but that looks like a good job. That'll do for now. That will do the job for now. At least we can get it out and have a play with it. We're going to have to change that though, aren't we? That is not an acceptable number plate to have anymore. Right. That's high up on the agenda for things to change. Right. But for now, let's run back to the yard and let's get things parked up here. Right. There we go. I think our future farm is now ready. We obviously, like I said, we've got to make a decision on a second trailer, but we can do that at some point. Right, I just thought I would jump in here and see what was on offer in the contracts category. Tons, and it's clearly very much silage season. Lots and lots of baling going on here, and then lots and lots of forage contracts going on here. Field 52, oh, Field 88, 28,000, 31,000 for Field 111. Oh, I'm going to have to check that one out, aren't I? That looks huge. Right, there we go, the two big contract fields, 88 there and 111 down here. Both looking good. I'm going to go for 88, I think slightly less. But haulage distance a lot less as well from where we are on the farm here. This is home farm where we are. And here's field 88. So I think we'll have a look at that. I'm not sure where he wants it delivered to. Let's work out that. That'll be the last thing that we decide whether or not it's a worthwhile exercise or not. So we'll check 111 as well and see where that wants to be delivered. And we'll make a call from there. Right, both contracts. Ah, it's Gianna again. She seems to love us. She's giving us all her contracts at the moment. She wants to go to Valley View Bales, and Michael Hammond wants us to go to Valley View as well. Okay, let's work out where Valley View is. Right, there we go. Valley View Bales at the top there. So I definitely think it's 88. We'd be running from all the way down here. We'd have to run either past the yard and up and over and round here, or we'd have to go through the fields here and up. Whereas 88, we've got a shorter run between the two, straight past home farm. So that is the job for us. But I'm not going to collect it just now. We're going to bank that one, and we're going to do that in the next episode. But in the meantime, we've got to decide what we do with our second trailer. So, over to you guys. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. It's nice to be on our new home. Very excited to see what we're going to be doing next. So, look forward to hearing from you in terms of which trailer I should buy. And we'll take things from there. Take care. have fun, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.